Cities like London are always changing, but some things here remain a constant. Throughout the ages, the mighty River Thames has snaked its way through what is now London on its way to the sea. But further upstream, near the river's source, it's a very different picture. In the village of Ashton Keynes in the Cotswolds, the Thames was once a thing of beauty and folklore. But this summer, it's nowhere to be seen. So Sam, here's your water view.
Well, it was. Yeah, unfortunately, it's rather dry.
Sam Paris and his family live right on the Thames. They used to enjoy floating down this stretch of river, which is also the site of the village's annual duck race. But the only spectacle right now are the dead crayfish that have succumbed to the summer sun.
Well, first there was a smell, actually, as certain fish, and obviously some of the wildlife's died, and the plants too. So as that's died off, it's got a bit stinky.
This stretch of river's been through dry spells in summer before, but they're rarely this severe, and there's always been an assumption that the rain will come because this is England.
It rains a lot, it always has done. So yeah, we don't usually have a problem with water. It's not an issue, but obviously we're concerned.
Rolling green hills are in short supply in the UK these days. A drought's been declared across large swathes of England. There hasn't been a reservoir built here in 30 years, and millions of people are now facing water restrictions to ensure one of life's essentials doesn't run out.
We had the driest July on record here, and as you can see, it's bone dry in the upper reaches of the river.
We're heading towards London on foot, but this is no riverside pathway, it's the riverbed itself. Rob Collins has lived by the Thames for 15 years, and this is a new experience for him.
It's quite good for the boat, isn't it?
So on a good year, where would the water be?
Well, you typically have about half a metre here.
Okay.
I think early on, at the beginning of the drought, okay, the river was dry in its upper reaches, that's not uncommon. But now we're seeing, the bed of the Thames dry 10 miles downstream, and that feels like it's really quite unprecedented. It's sending something of a warning to us, particularly given that these sorts of droughts are only going to become more frequent and more severe in the future, that we need to adapt to them and adapt to this changing climate better than we currently are.
The lack of rainfall's been accompanied by punishing heat. In July, the UK smashed its previous temperature record of 38.7. In London, it hit 40.2 degrees, and in Lincolnshire, it was 40.3.
There have been some attribution studies already. For example, taking that 40-degree day in the UK, that is now 10 times more likely thanks to climate change. Back 10, 15 years ago, a really hot day was probably considered 35, 36, maybe 37 degrees Celsius. But now it almost feels like the hot days are now above 40, so that's kind of the new bar, and I think we're going to see more of that in the future. It's just a matter of time.
Europe is facing its worst drought in 500 years. This is Hungary's Lake Valence, once a haven for wildlife, now a dust bowl. The Danube's dropped to such low levels that in Serbia, the wreckage of dozens of Nazi ships that were sunk during World War II have been revealed. Glaciers are shrinking at an alarming rate. Switzerland's Aletsch Glacier has melted so much that it's exposed the wreckage of a plane that crashed in the 60s. While the discovery is exciting, the conditions here give little cause for celebration.
We can see the problem up here. It's for the whole Europe or for the whole world because of the water. Not only we need the water, the whole Europe needs the water from here.
In Germany, conditions are so dry, farmers say this year's harvest could yield 50% less. While in countries like France, Spain and Portugal, firefighters have battled a seemingly endless string of massive blazes, made much worse by the searing heat. While much of the Northern Hemisphere's been baking, China is feeling it the most. In Chongqing, wildfires have raged as temperatures hit 45 degrees. Rivers and reservoirs are so depleted from the lack of rain that it's interrupted the production of hydroelectricity.
So China is recording its most severe heat wave in recorded history, and it's just been absolutely brutal from about the middle of, early part of June onwards, and we're smashing records pretty much every day. both day and night.
Just when Britons were forgetting what rain looked like, they got a reminder. But a few wet days won't break a drought.
I'm just detecting the odd drop of rain. Is this good news? Will this do anything at all?
Well, it's good news, but it won't do a lot. We'll need months of this.
Sam Paris is confident the Thames will flow here again. In the meantime, he hopes this dry, lifeless riverbed makes people stop and think about the changing climate.
It's something very visible, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely. If we can draw attention maybe to these type of issues, then it makes more people think about it.